I'm passionate about music because I'm passionate about feelings. And this resonates with me because I used to be very much disconnected from my feelings. I spent most of my life in my head. That's all I knew. I was operating totally from a logical space, and I was doing things, and I was thinking through things, and I was closed off from my heart. And I think I did it because of fear. Like, I was worried that if I opened my heart, then I could get hurt. And so I had a lot of shielding over my heart. And it wasn't until years, even decades later in my life, that when I started going to festivals, that it really changed my life. And I found myself around other people that were feeling and flowing and being and expressing, and I wasn't. And it was really a wake-up call for me to realize how I was missing out from a lot of life. And so I've been trying to open my heart. I've been trying to get in touch with my feelings. I've been trying to honor really what's going on and pay attention to what's going on here, and allow myself to express all my feelings. And the trick I find is to process my feelings in a way where I'm not hurting anybody, including myself. So if I'm feeling joy, yay! And if I'm feeling rage, cool, that's also cool. And like, find ways to express. And getting in touch with my feelings and honoring them has made my life so much more rich and full. And I encourage everyone to find their way. Like, what is your way to express? How do you get your heart out there? How do you share with others what's really going on inside? I like to say that anybody can play the violin. Anybody. The trick is, the first 2 years suck. That's the deal. I am not a prodigy. I don't like that idea. I like the concept of the 10,000 hour rule, where if you just put in the practice, you will get good at something. And what I find is most people give up too soon. You've got to be okay with not being great. And so the good news for me is I'm very patient. And I think you can learn this too. You can learn patience and just keep at it. And so I have determination and a patience and a willingness to just keep going through the awkward phase, and I still have awkward phases, and these help me a lot. And I encourage everyone to like find something you're passionate about and go for it, and be okay with making mistakes, be okay with just keeping at it for a long time, and you can do it. I believe in you. When I was young and starting to learn the violin, I used to be very nervous before a performance, and I was so worried about making a mistake. And oh my gosh, I come from a classical music background where you're not supposed to make mistakes, you're supposed to be perfect, and so I was terrified. And now I actually don't worry about that anymore, and it's not because I don't make mistakes, it's because I've made peace with my mistakes. So I now have released the idea of being perfect, and I know I make mistakes regularly. I will make 16 mistakes today. I've already made 12, and it's okay. Like, what I've learned is that if you make mistakes, like, you can learn from them, you can grow and change, and it's not the end of the world. So I don't really get nervous before a performance now because of a fear of making a mistake. And yet, what I do feel before a performance is this anxiousness for the potential of good. So I'm blessed to do a lot of performances, like over 100 a year, easy. And some of them are all right, and some of them are magical. And what I want is the magic to happen. And I don't have full control over that. But what I feel before a performance is this anxiousness for the potential of transformation. And so I do my best to take a breath and to trust. And I encourage everyone to do that too. Like, trust, it's going to be okay. So the little known secret about being a professional musician, being a musician that does this for a living, is that I actually spend 95% of my time and energy on the business side of doing music, and only 5% on the music. And it's a sad reality for me. I would much rather do like this. There's a stereotype, there's this myth that, oh yeah, I spend all day on a violin, and then I just show up at the venue and I get up on stage and no. I've done the math. For every hour that I'm on stage, there's about 40 hours of work off stage that has to happen to make that happen. And so I'm constantly working on those other hours. It's usually not sexy. It's usually at home on a laptop. I'm on a spreadsheet way more than I am a violin, that's for sure. And the good news is it leads to the performance opportunities, which I love. And honestly, I'm still struggling to find the balance. But it's not the balance between music and the business of music. What I struggle with is that whole thing balanced with the rest of life. And so I try to take breaks. I try to get out in nature. I'm very blessed to have access to nature, and I try to get some fresh air whenever I can. I encourage people to find their practice. So I try to take care of myself emotionally, physically, and mentally. And that leads me to better be able to do the work that leads to the magic of sharing music. I love playing live for people. It is such a joy, and what most people don't realize is I actually spend most of my time on a laptop back in my home office working on the music business so that I can play live. And the irony is, back when I used to have a corporate job, I actually had a very serious technology career. I hated the idea of sales and marketing, and I considered myself a creator. Like, I don't sell stuff, I make stuff. I'm a builder, that's what I do. And so the universe is laughing at me now because I actually spend most of my time now in sales and marketing. But what's different is that I'm selling myself. Like, I'm trying to promote myself and get the word out there so that I get to share music live with people, which is just such a joy, and it makes it all worth it.